안녕하세요. Hi. Kamusta? 저는 렉슨이에요. 저는 현재 전남대학교에서 공부하고 있습니다. 만나서 반가워요. Anyways, alright. I'm Lex Salazar, and we are in the land of the morning calm, South Korea. South Korea is located in East Asia. It is part of the Korean Peninsula, which shares its border with its brother North Korea. Its total land area is 100,306 kilometers squared, and it is home of 52.4 million people with a population density of 507 per kilometer squared. In 2017, a proportion of 100 males per 100.5 females were recorded. Birth rate, in the other hand, recorded its lowest ever fertility rate ever with 1.05 births per woman. The average life expectancy of a South Korean, based from the 2013 World Health Organization data, is 81.6 years old. South Korea is divided into 8 provinces and 6 metropolitan cities that acts as their own entity, and a self-governing province called Jeju-do Island, and the capital Seoul with the title the Special City. Moving on with natural ecosystem. Located in the Armorial Plate, Japan and China take away the tsunamis and the typhoon, making the country safe from natural disaster. Around 80% of the country is mountainous and share the Taebaek mountain chain with North Korea. Longest river is the Nakdong River that flows all the way from Taebaek Mountain to the east water of Busan. South Korea is located between the Yellow Sea, Gyeonggi Bay, the Jeju Strait, and the Korea Strait, Tsushima Island, and the East Sea or the East Sea of Japan. As you can see, South Korea is a small country but full of natural ecosystem, which consists primarily of mountains and oceans. Most areas contain deciduous, broad-leaved, and coniferous forest. Typical evergreen, broad-leaved species include camellias and camphor trees, while deciduous forest includes oak, maple, alders, zelkovas, and birches. Species of pine are the most representative of the country. Other coniferous species includes spruces, larches, and yews. Part 2. Next is energy flow. Energy flow is the transfer of energy from one trophic level to another. Trophic has 2 types: autotrophs, which means the primary consumers, and heterotrophs, which means the consumers. And there are 3 levels of heterotrophs, which is the primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. So basically, autotrophs produces food, while heterotrophs consumes the food produced by autotrophs. So for example is the grass. The grass would be the autotrophs or the primary producer. Now it is eaten by a deer, which is the primary consumer. Now the deer will be eaten by a hyena, which is the secondary consumer, and then the hyena will be eaten by the lion, which is the tertiary consumer. Which leads us to ecological pyramid. First is the pyramid of numbers. As you can see in the diagram, The next is the pyramid of energy. As you can see in the diagram, so the next will be biotic interactions. Pero nabuburyong na ako dito sa loob, so lalabas tayo. Let's go! The next is biotic interactions. 7 types of biotic interactions. So, maghanap muna tayo ng place. So, competition. This is 2 species share a requirement for a limited resource. So, ang example niyan is parang lion at saka tiger. Gusto nila ng deer. So, magko-compete sila para makakain ng deer. So, ganun ang competition. The next one is predation. One species feeds on another. Enhances fitness of predator but reduces fitness of the prey. So, for example, predation is fox at saka rabbit. Ang predator doon is yung fox. So, yung rabbit, yun yung mag-i-increase ng fitness ng predator. Pero yun din yung magbabawas ng population ng rabbits. The next is symbiosis. It is the close, long-lasting relationship between species. So there are 3 categories: parasitism, commensalism, and mutualism. So parasitism is parang parasites. Parasitism is one species feeds on another. So, may 2 kinds ng parasites, ang ectoparasites at endoparasites. Ang ectoparasites is parang flies, molds, or lice. Ang endoparasites yung mga tapeworms nasa loob. So, ecto sa labas, endo sa loob. So, next is commensalism. There is one species receives a benefit from another source but doesn't affect that species. So, for example nun is yung flower na tumutubo sa puno. Yung flower, nagkakaroon siya ng bahay, pero yung puno, hindi naman siya naapektuhan. So, that is commensalism. So, mutualism, it is 2 species provide services to each other. So, for example, honeybee at saka flower. The flower gives nectar, and then the honeybee distributes the pollen to other land to produce more flowers. So, that is mutualism. Parang kayong magjowa, dapat mutual lang yung relationship nyo sa isa't isa. Neutralism, ito yung walang epekto sa isa't isa. So, ito yung diagram. Okay, so next location tayo mga Lodi. So, next location naman is i-discuss ko yung ecological succession. So, see you. So, dito tayo sa field. Tignan natin yung Woodung Mountain. One great example for ecological succession is Woodung Mountain. This area 87 million years ago, before human race began, is a world-renowned volcanic region. Woodung Mountain is a volcano fuming out lava and volcanic ash, and the trace of the volcanic activity is the hexagonal columns as seen today. From volcano to barren land to a place full of life. Under pioneer stages, bare rock, then lichens grew, then small plants, perennial herbs and grasses to a place full of life with trees, shrubs, and grasses that all man can enjoy. I even went there, and it was so good. Atmospheric nitrogen constitute around 78% of the air. But atmospheric nitrogen cannot be absorbed by the plants, so it has to undergo a process called nitrogen fixation. Under the ground, the bacteria from the roots will transform the atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia. From ammonia, a process called nitrification will undergo, transforming it to nitrates. These can now help the plants to grow and feed the living organisms. Dead matter and animal excreta will decay and release ammonia. This ammonia can also undergo nitrification again. Unabsorbed nitrates can undergo the nitrification to be transformed again to atmospheric nitrogen. In oxygen cycle, plants need sunlight, carbon dioxide from the air, and water from the ground. Through photosynthesis, plants now produces oxygen which now be used by all living organisms. The carbon cycle. Carbon moves from atmosphere to the plants. Carbon moves from plants and animals to the ground. Carbon moves from living things to the atmosphere. And carbon moves from the atmosphere to the oceans. Some carbons will be decomposited at the bottom of the ocean. And that is the carbon cycle.